I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 55 of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. My name is Flo.
And I'm Gabe. How are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm okay as well. I finally finished my last exam, so that's a load off my mind. And
You had one now.
I had one like 2 days ago.
Interesting.
My very last one for this semester, and to be honest, I was quite disappointed in my performance. You know that feeling when you learn a lot and you think you get the gist of it and you know pretty much everything you need to know, and then you get the questions in front of you. You got like 2 hours and your mind is a blank.
I don't know that feeling. No, I always get everything right.
Oh well, good for you. What a relatable trait.
Yeah, but you are you worried that it's like a fail or whatever?
I don't think it's a fail, but I think it's just not going to be a good grade. And I had the feeling that I was very interested in the topic, and I thought that I knew quite a lot about it. And then I even knew most of the information in my head when I started writing, but I just had writer's block, I guess. I didn't know how to fucking write a sentence, how to bring across an argument, or I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, at least it's over, and I don't think I failed, so that's good, right?
It's interesting that you speak about like the semester being over. For me, it's like it's about to start again. Like next week is when everything starts. Or no, the week after is when everything starts again. And
yeah,
I've read rumors that I've heard rumors. Sorry, what was that?
Don't remind me.
Yeah,
It's starting again.
I've heard rumors that they're actually going to open the universities back up. Is that for real?
I don't know. Maybe, I guess, because the plan is to open things back up in April, but we'll see how that goes. I mean,
I when I heard it, I couldn't quite believe it. I mean, it's not really the time to do that, though, is it? I mean, who am I to say it? But you know,
I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it either. But I've kind of thought about this as well. Now, kind of picking out my lectures for the next semester, for the coming semester. I try to pick things that are at least said on the website that they're going to do it in digital form, and I think they're going to stay that way. So they're not going to be a mandatory presence required.
Right. Well, the two things I signed up for this semester are both like listed as a hybrid thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as soon as they open it back up, they would just invite us back in. I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
I hope not to, because I don't know, man. I just I don't mind like if it's not like a regular lecture, because this is like more of a seminar.
Yeah.
I feel like that's okay to do it digitally. I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah, I have to say I've kind of gotten used to it that way. Then
I think
again,
we all have. Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm not ready for things to open back up.
No, dude, I feel the same way, and we're both working together next week, and that's just like it. Like last year, it feels wrong to do it. I don't know. It is different than last year. I know, but
I think they're taking the necessary precautions.
Sure.
We're getting regularly tested, and I think none of us are like irresponsible and just meet random fucking people and party. I mean, maybe some people, but
yeah, no, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. Plus, a person who I'm working with is at least vaccinated. I guess that doesn't really help me because
wow, what an
that person
achievement!
can still get me sick, but you know, it's something.
Yep,
well,
well, that's the small talk for this week's episode. It's like deja vu, isn't it? I mean, we talked about this last year, and we're still here a year later. Fuck
yeah, man. Didn't get sick. Woo! At least as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Well, there's always a chance this year.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the best things we've seen all week, right?
Yeah.
An interesting week for me, but please, do you want to do your pitch, or not the pitch, but your thing about the show?
Yeah, sure. So we're back with another regular episode before our special next week. Here we're going to talk about the best thing that we've seen all week. Anything from a movie to a TV show to maybe even a YouTube video. And as always, we don't know what each other's picks are going to be. And I'm excited to hear what you saw because I was struggling a bit this week.
Yeah.
You as
It's a
well?
slow week.
Yeah.
Well, there's no like major releases that are available to us.
Yeah.
Which is that's a significant part at the end because there are some releases like the Mauritanian, but that's not available to us because we are not in the US or in the UK and Austria. They don't do this. I don't know why.
And also with Promising Young Woman, apparently it's finally out on Prime to rent for $20, which is a lot, but not in Austria.
Yeah.
It's out in fucking Amazon US and Amazon UK, but not in Austria. I don't know what's the logic behind that because I thought Amazon is like the same pretty much everywhere, right?
Well,
I guess not.
It's been bothering me for years now. I remember a lot of movies that came out on Amazon Prime in the US that just took months and months to come to us. But, it's the anticipation that, whatever. I want it now.
Yeah, me too.
I did find something that I wanted to watch, though. I'm interested in hearing your pick, too. And I think it's your start. How many things do you have this week?
I have one real thing, but I have a couple of things that I want to mention before we get into the picks.
You got some fake things. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Which is, first of all, a couple of weeks back, I talked about How to Disappear by Total Refusal, the short film which took place inside of Battlefield, the online shooter. Right? Yes. And I wrote them if they could send me maybe a link or some information if they ever plan to post that short online anywhere. And I regularly check back into the emails for 1 to 2 weeks, but apparently I just overlooked it because they wrote me back like 4 days later. I don't know how I missed that. I'm pretty fucking sure I checked the emails, but...
Yes, I saw it.
Okay, thank you for telling me.
Well, I thought you saw it too.
No, I check back like every 2-3 days, and I don't know how I missed this, but okay. It happened. I'm very sorry to Total Refusal because they actually wrote me that they were going to show the film again on Kino VOD, so cinema video on demand, because this was something I was not aware of. There is like from most big cinemas in Vienna, the more independent ones, they have like video on demand now.
Yes.
Which I wasn't aware of. Did you know about this?
Yes.
Okay, well, I didn't. Did you take advantage of that at any time?
No.
Okay, well. But yeah, well, they showed it like 2 weeks ago, so I'm sorry I missed that, but they also sent me a link to another film of theirs, Operation Jane Walk, which is from 2018, which I've now watched, which is also very interesting. Maybe we can put a link in the description so you can check that out as well. It takes place inside a video game, inside Tom Clancy's The Division,
right?
Which is a big video game. There's also supposed to be a movie adaptation coming out with Jake Gyllenhaal, apparently, but I'm not sure if he's still on board.
With Rebecca Ferguson, yeah, and directed by, what's his name? The guy who did the John Wick movies. David Leitch.
Yes.
I believe.
That's been in development hell as well, right? For like 3-4 years now.
Yes.
Feels like, at least. But yeah, they do a bit of a tour through New York, through that dystopian, post-apocalyptic New York. They don't even shoot. It's like they got a tour guide and they show him around. Starts off at the Franklin D. Roosevelt Drive and then ends at the Trump Tower and talks about the architecture. It's very interesting. It's very cool, and it's a cool idea. So check that out. It's not a new thing, but thank you for providing us with a link.
I'm sure they're listening.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
So is that like on Vimeo or where can you watch
Vimeo,
that?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Did you know that or did you just guess?
I guessed.
Okay.
I mean, that's just one of the... I know that that's a platform that people that make films use.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I can, if you want, like, shout out news, Matt Colbo also, liked the tweet about our last episode.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dude, I kind of regret not taking him as my pick after we finished. I'm so sorry, Matt, now that he's a new fan of ours.
What was your pick last week again?
News of the world.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
And the more I thought about
now
that
that he's
movie,
a fan,
we talked about it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Yep.
He seems like a cool guy.
Yep.
And yeah, in other news, Disney Plus, I know I've talked about it a lot.
What's going on with you? Yeah.
It's pretty much doubled its content now. I don't know if you've seen that. But they've now included Star, which I think was just a part of Fox. And now they got a whole lot of Fox movies and TV shows on there. So they got Futurama now on there. They got American Dad. They got movies or TV shows like Firefly. And they got a whole lot of cool movies. Moulin Rouge. So they're becoming more like a regular streaming service now, which is cool because there's just so much more stuff on there.
Are you seriously a spokesperson for them? It's getting kind of weird now.
I know. I was just so excited when I saw it last night. So,
But are there like new things as well, or just like old goodies?
Mostly old goodies, but I also things that are not that old, I guess.
Right.
But nothing that like stood out to me, but like most shows, like I think American Dad are pretty much up to date. So it's until the latest season that has come out. So
yeah, I've heard someone complain about it that they don't have like subtitles on them. Well, maybe that's on a different platform, but
really,
yeah, I might mix things up. But I know someone talked about like Futurama, and it's missing subtitles on some sort of streaming platform. Maybe that was on Amazon. I don't know.
Maybe on Amazon, yeah.
Yeah.
No idea. But that's exciting, at least for me.
I was going to say, at least for you, yeah.
And yeah, I guess with that, we can get into my first honorable pick. That is not an honorable pick, and I don't even want it to be in the cover. I just want to say that I watched it.
Oh, God.
Which is Blood of Zeus. Have you heard about this?
I've not heard of this. What is this?
Okay, this is an anime show about Greek mythology. And according to the IMDb trivia, I don't know if it's true, but it might be just because it's a Netflix original. It was the most watched anime of 2020.
Right.
Came out like October, November. And I just did a lecture on the ancient world, so ancient Greece, ancient Rome. So I was kind of thinking about Greek mythology, which also is a big part of Greek history. So it's like, all right, let's check this out. And what a fucking train wreck that show is. I couldn't watch more than an episode. So
it's got
all I can
good
say
ratings,
is,
I'm seeing.
it's got alright ratings, but I don't think people know what's good anymore. They just see, oh, cool, it's an anime and it's like Greek gods beating the shit out of each other.
Right.
Great.
Sounds good.
It's it's just so bad. It's so freaking lifeless because I know people who record voices for animated shows don't do them at the same time. One actor comes in, records their lines, and then the other actor comes in. That's how it happens most of the time. And you hear that. They don't feel like they're in the same room, even though they're like standing next to each other, the characters.
Right.
It seems so lifeless, as if they just read out the lines, and it's so bland and boring and just absolute fucking shit.
Right.
So yeah, I just really want to talk about that. It's just
gotta be the first animated
atrocious
show you watched that you didn't like on this podcast, sorry.
I guess. Did I like any anime shows on this podcast so far?
What do you mean? Which ones didn't you like?
I know, did I talk about any? No, oh, right, animated, right. I thought like anime, like.
Oh, no, sorry, I meant animated,
Okay.
yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
It was very disappointing. Then again,
you said you only watched one episode.
Yeah, I couldn't watch anymore.
No, that's fair, it's fair.
Yeah.
I was just, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, I'm sorry. I don't, that's a Netflix
Don't watch
thing, you said.
It's a Netflix thing, yeah.
Interesting.
And if it is the most watched anime of 2020, I'm sorry for the people. You didn't have anything better to watch. Crazy.
So you don't want me to put this on the cover?
I don't even want you to acknowledge it, to be
Oh,
honest.
God.
I just want to put it out there. So
We'll see what ends up on the cover. I might need a fourth thing to fill it, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
All right.
I have one quick honorable.
Yeah,
I
please.
want to talk about a YouTube video, which I haven't done in a while.
Mhm.
And I honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I just, right before we started recording, I went through the liked videos on my YouTube channel.
Mhm.
And I realized that I liked something that came out recently. And I was like, I could talk about this.
Okay.
And it's LARNELL LEWIS. He's a musical genius. And I know him as a drummer, as one of the best drummers I've ever seen. And there's a YouTube channel called Drumeo. And I've seen a couple of videos of him on that channel where he sort of like listens to a song for the first time and then plays it perfectly. Okay. And a couple of days ago now, a new one was released where he plays Enter Sandman, the Metallica song. And apparently he'd never heard it before. And he listens to it one time and sort of talks you through his process. And then he literally plays it perfectly. And it's just, if you like musical geniuses at work, if you enjoy watching that. And this guy's such a charming guy, and he's part of the band called Snarky Puppy. It's a great name, and they are just incredible musicians, and you should definitely check them out.
What genre would you say? Snarky magician?
Puppy. What?
Puppy. What?
You're right. It's a difficult question. Very difficult. It's like a mixture of many things. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have, at least the songs that I listen to, they don't have a singer.
Okay.
It's just instrumental.
Okay, cool.
But very sophisticated stuff and very, impressive stuff. And he's a big part of that. And I just read that he plays other instruments as well. Apparently he plays every instrument, but I know him for his drumming, and he's fantastic. LARNELL LEWIS. I'll link it in the description. It's just fascinating to watch. Yeah.
I have to say I've never heard of him, but it sounds very...
It's got like a couple of million views. These are like quite popular.
Yeah. For me, it's just baffling if people can do that. I can't even snap along to a song, so...
We can.
Cool, yeah.
That's just a quick honorable I have, and I got one main pick of the week, obviously. But I think it's your turn, yeah.
Yeah, and my thing is a Amazon Prime thing. Would be crazy if once again it was the same thing you saw, but I seriously doubt it. Is your thing a Prime thing?
No.
Okay, well.
I'm interested in this.
A movie that I watched, which I actually saw when I saw the thumbnail, the poster when it came out, and I was like, all right, this kind of seemed interesting just because of the leading actress. Because the film is I'm Your Woman, which came out in December, and it stars Rachel Brosnahan, which is an actress that I really like.
Oh, you do? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Ever since I saw
Marvelous Miss Maisel.
The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, thank you. And I don't know, have you seen Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
Yes.
All right.
I saw it before you.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
I saw it when it came out, but I didn't see season 2.
Oh, okay. Season 3 is out as well now.
I know.
I mean, it's been for 1.5 years now.
Yes. I know. It's just one of the shows that is fantastic, and I just don't watch it. I don't know why.
That's okay. I mean, there are a lot of fantastic shows out there, and it's hard to keep up.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a movie that I saw, like I said, the thumbnail, and I thought it was interesting, but I never got around to seeing it, and I completely forgot about it, to be honest, until now, because I was looking for something to watch.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
And it's a crime drama, starring, like I said, Rachel Brosnahan in the leading role, and she plays the wife of a crime boss. Or not crime boss, somebody's involved in crime. It's never really stated in a way. It's more alluded to in the beginning.
Right.
And he brings home a baby out of nowhere because she always wants to have a baby, and then she becomes a mother, very happy with her life, I guess, more happy than before. But then all of a sudden, a friend of her husband's comes to her house and just says, pack your shit together. It's too dangerous now. Shit has happened. Get out of here. And it's pretty much just her and her baby together with a man who is somehow acquainted with her husband, trying to hide and trying to stay safe, and her trying to figure out what the fuck is even going on because nobody wants to tell her what has happened.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it was incredibly thrilling, that film, especially for the first half. Not as good in the second half, but still a good movie, and I enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, with that, I think we can play a trailer, right?
Yes.
So yeah, let's go.
Hey, not gonna be home tonight. You'll be all right?
Jimmy. Something happened tonight. You'll work out with Cal where you're gonna go.
Who the hell is Cal? Where is Eddie?
I'm Cal.
All right. So that was the trailer for I'm Your Woman. And have you heard of this film as well?
Yes, I saw the trailer and I saw the ratings and I was like, that's not for me.
I mean, the ratings aren't bad, right? They're mediocre.
Yeah, well, okay, yes. It's got like a 6.2 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like Rachel Brosnahan a lot as well.
Yeah.
Ever since House of Cards, where she played, I think Rachel. Wasn't her name Rachel in that too? Doesn't matter,
yeah.
But yeah, and a couple of other films that I saw her in, and I like her a lot. And it's just, I heard about this movie and I heard mixed things about it. And as I said, I watched the trailer and it didn't really grab me. But I'm very surprised that you said it's as good as it is. I mean,
it's not fantastic, to be honest. But
right.
I think that first half really, really spoke to me.
It's long though, right? I mean,
2 hours,
yeah.
pretty much, exactly. Yeah,
it seems
it's okay.
But so, what is the main like part of the movie about? It's just her on the run.
Well, the thing is, I saw this film in 2 sittings, which I normally don't do, but I was just so exhausted when I started it, and I pretty much ended exactly at the 1 hour mark.
Right, perfect.
Which was pretty much the perfect time.
Yeah.
Because pretty much exactly at the 1 hour mark, it takes a pretty drastic turn. The film changes a lot.
Okay.
So it's pretty much just divided into 2 acts.
Interesting.
And
can you elaborate without giving it away what happens?
yeah, I can try. I mean, the first half is more of her being helpless and just trying to hide. And the second half, it's more her figuring out what is going on, taking more charge of the situation,
right,
and meeting more characters. And some of the characters, they're not bad, but I think the highlight of this film was more Rachel Brosnahan's performance and her acting, and not so much some of the dialogue. It was a bit heavy-handed at times, and just some characters tried to be very cool in how they acted, I guess.
Right.
Which just didn't seem natural for the situation to stay that cool, but I think it would have been more interesting to see more, I don't know, excitement even in the other people's perspectives. But like I said, the first half, just her trying to figure shit out, is just way more engaging, I guess, because you feel way more for her in that situation.
So do you know as the audience what she's trying to figure out? Or are you figuring it out? Like, are you figuring it out along with her?
You're figuring it out along with her, but the thing is, some of the exposition, especially in the second half, is just her making conclusions and then asking, is that what happened? They're like, yeah, that's what happened. I didn't really follow along with that. They're like, oh, that's a pretty good conclusion how you came to that point, so good for you. I wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, I would have guessed it just because I'm so far away from it and I can see it from an objective position, but I wouldn't ever have come to that conclusion if I was in her position.
Well, I remember you mentioned this when we talked about the Sherlock Holmes films on, I think, the Rachel McAdams special, and you were like, you don't like it when movies do that, when they just like figure things out for you that you would have never thought of?
Yeah, I mean, it's just too quick. Somebody says something and just, that's what happened. And I think even if it's easier for you as an audience member to figure it out, I think characters in a movie just should take longer to figure it out, because it's not that easy if you're in
3
that
hours.
situation. Because the thing is, when you're in real life, you don't just have 5 scenes that tell you things and then you know those 5 scenes are important. They're like 50 hours of buffer in between those
sentences. It would be a difficult movie to shoot.
Yeah, it would be. But I don't know. It just seemed too quick for me towards the end.
Right.
And there's some characters who you then kind of learn what their motivation is and why they help her. And that made very little sense of me. They seem to be very much honor bound, I guess. And like,
Sure.
who would do that? Just fuck it. Why would you go to that extent? But okay.
You wouldn't, apparently. I mean, if Rachel Brosnahan needed my help, I'd be there in a second.
Oh,
Fair
enough. Fair enough. But yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I unfortunately haven't seen it, but it's included in the Prime membership, right?
Yes, it is an Amazon original. You can even see the very beautiful intro of their production company.
Yeah, if that's not worth checking out, I don't know what is. Yeah,
it's a pretty good intro, right? the way they kind of set up the
I never understand
production company.
I never understand intros, like production company intros. It's just some of the most random things I've ever seen. Like I watched a movie recently where it's just like a guy, like I think, and I'm sure you know this logo, it's just a horse and you're basically looking at the horse's ass and its tail.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And
Yeah.
it's just, what are you doing? Like, I guess it sort of sticks in your mind, but I don't know.
I mean, it's a beautiful ass. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's a good point. I have no idea.
Yeah.
One of the most disturbing ones is Annapurna, I think, which is
I don't think that's the
something
one.
like
Yeah,
that. No.
I don't quite think you got that pronunciation right. But
Yeah, I think so either.
Annapurna?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Which I think does a lot of horror films.
Yes.
Sometimes just starts off with like a creepy girl standing in the corner. It's just, Jesus Christ, okay.
Yeah.
At least I remembered the company. But yeah.
I looked it up. It is. Oh no, that's a what? That's a what? A massive in Nepal is also called Annapurna. Hold on a second.
What?
I don't know. I think it's a mountain.
Okay.
Hold on. Annapurna Pictures. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's got the big A. I don't remember a creepy girl in that intro.
Isn't it? It's like the two corners of a room and then they kind of blend together and make the A.
I know exactly what that is. That is
Baumhaus?
no,
Blumhouse?
Blumhouse. It's Baumhaus. That's Blumhouse. Yeah.
Blumhouse, right.
Yes. Get Out and Jason Blum. Yeah.
Right. Annapurna, sorry, is like, the A with like the flickering
The
and
flickering
different
A.
lights as in,
Yes. Also,
like a dead TV.
horror movies, I think, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of production companies, which production company did your movie? Is it also a big streaming service, or is it probably something that I've never even
What a
heard
segue.
of? Right? Like I got it written down.
I typed in, sorry, I will get to that, but
Mhm.
Annapurna Pictures, apparently, they don't do horror films.
They
They did
don't?
like Booksmart, American Hustle, Her, Sausage Party. Off
Huh.
the point, but I'm sorry.
Maybe it just looks like a horror movie
Yeah, it does.
thing. All right.
So I don't even know what mine is. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, so it's not it's not an original.
It's
from
not an
any big-
original, no.
Okay.
Where is it? Here we go. It is a Studio Canal UK.
Oh, okay.
Film 4 and British Film Institute, BFI.
Okay,
So
cool.
it is a British movie. My pick of the week.
Something
So
different.
yeah. My pick of the week is finally available on Blu-ray. And
Ooh,
that's
okay.
it's one of those movies once again that has been out and about and people have been raving about it and there was no way for us to watch it. And now it's
Mhm.
available on Blu-ray and I was hesitant to watch it and you'll know why in a second, but I'm glad I did. Because my pick of the week is Saint Maud.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of this?
I have. It's not been out anywhere in Austria.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah.
It is an A24 production in the States. So
Mhm.
it's interesting because it's not listed as that on the Wikipedia page, but I know that it is an A24 movie, which is just nowadays considered, or not considered, but if you think of A24 movies, you're going to watch them, basically, because their run has been incredible and they did like Hereditary, especially in the horror genre, and Saint Maud is very much a horror movie.
Perfect. We talked about Blumhouse.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it should have been. It would have been great if it was a Blumhouse pick or an Annapurna pick. But what was I saying just now? Completely lost my train of
A24
thought.
horror.
Yeah, what they did, like Hereditary and Get Out. No, not Get Out. I'm not sure if they did, but
Yeah, I feel like
Midsommar.
I think I feel like I saw something of theirs recently, but
First Cow.
maybe.
That is definitely A24.
Yeah.
And also like Lady Bird. That's A24. They just, I think.
I really like how the logo kind of blends in. You know, the
Yes.
stroke of the two coming in
Yes.
and of the four.
Absolutely.
It's very cool.
And they are also like doing Minari, which I know you're looking forward
Oh
to.
yeah.
Oh,
Still not available anywhere.
Yeah, that's also one of those movies that is now available to stream in the US, but nowhere
Yeah.
here.
Pisses me off. But alright.
And Saint Maud, it's actually like a 2019 movie. It premiered in
Mhm.
Toronto 2019.
Oh wow, okay.
Actually, when I was there, right? That's
Yeah,
interesting. I
must
didn't
have
even
been
think about that movie
2019,
back then. Yeah. But it came out like wide in 2020, and now we got to see it in 2021. And it's I'm not the biggest horror fan, but A24 movies are sort of horror films that I want to watch because I heard a lot of people rave about this. Mark Kermode, who is one of the few film critics that I actually like follow and value his opinion. It was his favorite movie last year, I think. And a lot of people that I follow on social media or whatever, they love this movie too. And I can sort of see why. I mean, it's interesting. It follows like a young carer who is very religious. She recently like became very religious, and she gets assigned to a new patient of hers, and it's a woman with, I believe, stage 4 lymphoma in the spine, and a woman who is very clearly about to die, and she's only like, I would say in her 40s, played by Jennifer, I believe it's Eel, an actress that you definitely know once you see her, but it's one of those faces that I don't necessarily know the name of, but you know her when you see her. And she was recently in, there was something that, she was in Zero Dark 30, for example.
Oh, okay.
I think she's the one that she sits in with, you know the one?
I think so, who invites somebody to the military base.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes, I think that's her. I'm not, it's been a while, but I think that's her. And she was also recently in The Comey Rule, which is the one I talked about, the TV movie.
Yeah,
oh,
right.
Yeah, you know her face?
Oh, she's also in Vox Lux. I just looked her up.
Right. Oh, The Publicist. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
In Detroit.
The Fundamentals of Caring, which is a movie that you didn't like. I remember that.
Yep.
Great movie. No, but I really like her. And she plays the patient who sort of, in the beginning, bonds with, I have to say that the main actress is a very young and I believe unknown actress before this, with a great name, by the way. She's called Morfydd Clark. I mean, I don't even know how you came up with that name, but I believe this is sort of her breakout role. She was also in, I'm looking through her IMDb now, she's been in other things, but I don't think she's ever been the lead before. And yeah, it is about the relationship between the patient and Maud, played by Morfydd Clark. But some things get revealed throughout the movie about Maud's past, and it then also they also like clash heads about her religion, the patient and her, and it's just about a young girl struggling to find her place in society and sort of putting her whole life in the hands of God, so to speak. And some supernatural things happen throughout that movie that you're never quite sure if they're actually happening or if it's sort of an imagination in her mind. Or not, you know what I mean? Like you're always like wondering, basically till the very end, and then the final shot is quite something. That's what I have to say. And let's run a little clip of Saint Maud.
Dear God, your presence graces the air, and soon everyone will see.
Hi, you Maud?
Yes, hi. It takes nothing special to mop up after the dying.
You're prettier than the last one.
But to save a soul, that's quite something. Bless Amanda's body, and bless her mind, which is shrouded in darkness.
When you pray, do you get a response?
Oh, it's like he's physically in me. It's how he guides me.
My little savior.
Hey, I thought that was you. What are you up to?
I'm a private carer.
You're still nursing?
What?
They know what happened.
All the good girls go to hell, 'cause even God herself.
I just want to see you loosen up.
I've got more important things on my mind.
There's my little saint.
Maud, he isn't real.
Nothing worthwhile comes easily.
All the good girls go to hell.
All right. I have no idea what this trailer is like, to be honest with you. If we ended on something dark, I'm sorry.
I mean, you say it's horror, but horror is so open-ended. What other horror film would you compare to? Is it more like brutal or jump scares or just ominous? I mean,
I think the best way to describe it is it is an A24 horror movie, and I know that is. I feel like that gives you a sense of what it is. It's got these elements of it. I might be the wrong person because I haven't seen a lot of horror movies. Maybe that's wrong.
I mean,
to say.
You've seen your fair share,
sure, but I'm not, by no means a horror expert or like But it did remind me of Midsommar from the. It's only 84 minutes long, the movie, but the whole tone of it is very like tense throughout the whole thing. And it's interesting, if you don't know, I'm sorry I gave it away basically, but if you don't know it's a horror movie, it sort of starts off kind of, it's got a bit of funny elements too in the very beginning. And I feel like if you don't know that it's a horror film, it's a completely different experience. But I don't think anyone would ever watch this movie not knowing. I mean, you would have to know nothing about it. Like, and usually you know the genre at least, right? But yeah.
I hate it. And I love it when horror movies start off as if it was a comedy or a family film.
No, it's not that bad.
Because,
no, it's not that bad.
Okay, because I just look at the film and like, fuck you. I know what's about to happen.
No, it's never like that. Never like that.
Okay.
It's just, you start off and sort of follow her along and meeting her new patient and stuff. And then sort of after 20, 30 minutes, you sort of get to see what the movie's actually like about. And it's got a fascinating performance at the heart of it. I mean, she's really something, Morphy Clark. Really, I don't know how they find these unknown actresses that are sort of like brilliant in those A24 movies. I mean, the other movies had like Florence Pugh is in Midsommar. She's more known than Morphy Clark, or in Hereditary. What was the Alex Wolff? And obviously, I mean, I could go on, but I don't know what my point was there, so I'm just trying to. But they always have good performances. Those A24 movies, I think that's something. The casting is quite something.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a pick that I would never have seen coming, I guess.
Yeah, it's unfortunately not available like on any streaming platform. I'm sure it will be sooner rather than later. But I mean, I feel like I said enough not to give away too much. It's very unsettling. It's, I mean, interesting from a religious point of view because the way that the movie handles that as well. It's written and directed by Rose Glass, and this is her feature directorial debut.
Okay, cool.
So another incredible thing. I mean, it's just insane. It's a pretty fucking good first movie, I have to say. I didn't like completely love the movie, and I'm always like, when I watch a horror movie for the first time, I'm always like, all right, like, when's it gonna get me? Sort of like, when is the bad thing gonna happen or whatever? And this one, I sort of never really startled me, like from a jump scare point of view, which I hate, by the way. Horror movies with just jump scares are just the worst movies.
But trash,
yeah. It did get me with its unsettling thing, especially when it's just Maud experiencing like a higher power in the same room with her, basically, when she talks to God and he replies in some mysterious ways or whatever. It's very interesting and it's very weird, but I think it's expertly done in what it was trying to achieve, especially with that last shot. You know what it reminded me of? Raw.
Ooh.
It's got nothing to do with cannibalism.
Yeah, right.
But
I think I know what you mean just from the atmosphere.
Yes. And sort of also, I mean, the last shot of Raw will forever stay with me.
Yeah,
and
Jesus.
I think the last shot of Saint Maud will stay with me for a long time too. It's, I think you would love this movie.
Yeah, I have to say I'm intrigued because it sounds like the kind of horror film that I enjoy, because I'm not a huge fan of the genre in general, but there are just so many great ones in the horror genre, but I never like actively seek them out.
What were some of your favorites, like from the movies that I just mentioned, like or that we saw together recently?
I mean, Midsommar, I loved.
Okay.
A film that we didn't see together, but you saw as well, and I think counts as a horror film, is The Lighthouse, which I adored.
That's A24.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Us, I don't know if I've talked about it, but I rewatched it not that long ago, and I enjoyed it immensely once again.
Yeah.
But I don't know, what other films did you mention? What are the great ones that came out recently?
Well,
I mean, The Witch.
Hereditary.
Yeah, Hereditary was
Witch,
great
yeah.
as well. But The Witch I haven't seen, but it's now finally on Netflix. I think just because it's with what's the leading actress's name from Queen's Gambit? It's
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy. Thank you so much. I'm excited to watch that one just because it's also from the director of The Lighthouse.
Oh, you haven't seen The Witch?
I haven't,
Yeah.
but I've heard great things.
Robert Eggers. Yeah, you would like him. And they're also like doing a new movie now. Both of them, Robert Eggers and Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Also horror, I guess.
I think so. I think he's very much set in his genre, that director, and he's great at it.
Yeah,
I mean,
cool. Yeah.
Right. I mean, have you heard, because I said cannibalism, have you heard all those Army Hammer rumors?
I have recently at work, actually, and
Insane.
I'm interested. I mean, if it's some of the parts sound kind of fucked up, and if it's true that he hurt people, then it's not alright. But I mean, if it's just a weird sexual thing, I mean, it's his business, right? I mean,
Well,
I don't want to speak out of turn because I don't know enough about this to
Same.
tell anybody else about it. So don't take my word for anything. Please Google it yourself and make up your own opinion. But I don't know if it's just like a sexual thing for him. I mean, it's nobody's business, right?
No, first of all, I have to say I don't know much about it too, but I'm saying like his career is basically done. He's been recast in multiple things, and
Oh, really? Already?
yeah, he's over basically, and that's
What a poor guy, in a way. I mean, I don't know. I've heard some weird things that might have also like affected other people, and if that's right, then yeah, fuck him, I guess. But I don't know what of it is actually even true. So.
Yeah, same. I know too little about it to make any sort of statement, or not statement, but judgment on it. But I like him a lot as an actor. I really do, and I would think just in terms of like him not acting anymore, I would be disappointed or sad about that. But if it's for good reason, then I guess it's for good reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting.
He's the guy from Call Me by Your Name. If anyone's listening to this,
Yeah.
might not have picked Army Hammer. He's the guy who's opposite Timothy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it would be too bad just because he's a good actor. But yeah,
maybe he saw Raw and just missed the meaning of the movie.
That's a good fucking movie. That's
good. Yeah.
All right. Well, what a fucking dark turn this is taking.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's all I got. I think that's yeah. I hope you have an appetite for this one now. You see what I did there?
Jesus Christ.
We'll be back next week with the first ever director special episode, which hopefully will turn out fine. You're interesting,
I think so.
And a couple of good movies to choose from, and we'll dive more into that obviously next week, because I'm not even the biggest fan of the person we're doing it on, but so it's going to be interesting. Maybe it's going to be similar to the Cage special where you weren't that big a fan beforehand, and it sort of made you appreciate him a bit more. Maybe that's going to happen to me if I watch a couple of more movies.
It has happened to me because I was like with the person who directed those films. I was like, some of those films I can take, some of them I can leave. But watching even more of those films and rewatching one or two, I've really recognized the genius of that person. I mean, they're just a lot of just classics in that filmography. That
Absolutely.
I think just pretty much everybody adores. So
yes, that's why I feel like it's a good choice to do it on.
Yeah, definitely.
Those movies are very widely known. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to that one. And as always, thanks for listening to this one. I think it was an interesting one. I hope
I think so as well. Yeah. Bit different.
Yeah. That's it for me. Thank you. See you next week from me. But obviously, Gabe, please.
Yeah, as always, thank you so much for listening. You can find us on any podcast platforms out there, be it Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or YouTube, Spotify, etc. Please check us out at Best Thing Radio on Instagram and Twitter. There you can also check out the thumbnails that Flo does every week. I'm excited to see what's going to be on them for this week. And
it's going to be the one you don't want on it.
Yeah, I know. And
just that one 4 times.
I quit. No, thank you so much for listening. It means a lot to us. Maybe write in the comments what you've seen this week. I'm interested because there's not been a lot for us, I guess, but there's always something. There's always something. So yeah, thank you and see you at the special. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.